Many of us grew up with a kind of Disney dog fantasy. The idea that dogs are always happy, always grateful, and completely obsessed with their owners no matter what. In that version of the story, dogs run to the door every time you come home, they love every hug, and they never question anything you do. But real dogs are far more complex than that. Some dogs don't rush to greet their owners, some avoid touch. Others seem distant or even uncomfortable in certain moments. And here's a difficult truth that many dog owners never hear. You can love your dog deeply and still make them feel stressed or emotionally unsafe without realizing it. Even more surprising, some behaviors that people interpret as affection can actually be signs of tension. In this video, we're going to look at 7 signs that your dog may feel uncomfortable around you. And more importantly, we'll talk about how to transform those signals of rejection into something stronger, a relationship built on trust, clarity, and genuine emotional safety. Sign number 1. Overaffection becomes a stressor. Some dogs genuinely enjoy physical affection, but many dogs do not experience love the same way humans do. Dogs are not primates. They don't naturally express bonding through tight hugs, face-to-face pressure, or being held like a stuffed toy. Those gestures feel natural to us because that is how humans show affection. But to a dog, that type of contact can feel restrictive. When affection becomes forced, the dog can experience what I call the human straitjacket effect. It's the moment when a dog feels trapped inside affection they didn't choose. In the dog world, closeness usually looks different. It may look like a calm, grooming interaction, a relaxed lean against your leg, or quiet contact that the dog can end whenever they want. Pay attention to subtle signals during cuddling. If your dog stiffens, stops blinking, turns their head away, or starts licking their lips, they are not being rude or ungrateful. They are politely asking for space. One of the easiest ways to test whether your dog truly enjoys affection is the 3-second rule. Pet your dog gently for 3 seconds, then stop. If the dog leans back toward you, nudges your hand, or stays engaged, that's consent. But if the dog moves away or shakes their body, the interaction was not relaxing. It was pressure. Sign number 2. They keep strategic distance. A dog that feels uncomfortable around someone does not always show aggression. In many cases, they simply create distance. They sit on the opposite side of the room. They move away when you approach. They quietly choose spaces where you are not. What often makes this worse is when the owner tries harder to chase closeness. The more pressure you apply, the more distance the dog creates. This happens because dogs value choice. Curiosity grows when a dog feels free, but pressure triggers avoidance. The solution here is surprisingly simple. Instead of constantly trying to interact with your dog, practice what we can call passive bonding. Sit in the same room while doing calm activities like reading, working, or watching television. Don't stare at your dog. Don't constantly reach for them. Simply share the space. Over time, your dog begins to understand that your presence does not demand interaction. Sign number 3. They avoid you during meals. Food is one of the most vulnerable moments in a dog's day. When a dog is eating, their brain shifts into a survival mindset. In the wild, eating meant protecting valuable resources from competitors. Even though most pet dogs live comfortable lives, that instinct still exists in their nervous system. Some owners feel hurt when their dog eats quickly and walks away, or when the dog turns their body away from people while eating. But this behavior is not necessarily a sign that the dog dislikes you. In many cases, it simply means the dog wants to control the environment during a vulnerable moment. If a dog does not yet feel completely secure, they may create distance during meals as a protective strategy. The goal is not to force interaction. The goal is to build trust. Make feeding time predictable and calm. place the bowl down and step away. Avoid hovering, grabbing the bowl, or touching the dog while they eat to prove they won't bite. Instead, allow the dog to eat peacefully. When the meal is finished, you can casually offer a positive interaction. Sign number 4. They show whale eye. One of the clearest signals of canine discomfort is something known as whale eye, yet many owners never recognize it. Whale eye happens when a dog keeps their head mostly still but shifts their eyes sideways, exposing the whites of their eyes. It can look subtle, but it carries an important message. This expression often appears when a dog feels uncomfortable but is trying to remain polite. It might happen during grooming, when someone suddenly reaches over their head, when clothing is put on them, or when people move too quickly near their face. Whale eye is essentially your dog saying, "I don't like this situation, but I'm trying to stay calm." The biggest mistake people make is ignoring the signal and continuing the activity. When that happens, the dog may feel forced to escalate the communication into growling, snapping, or biting. The correct response is simple: pause, reduce pressure, move more slowly, or change the situation entirely. Sign number 5. They selectively hear you. When a dog ignores a command, many people assume the dog is stubborn, unintelligent, or disrespectful. But selective listening is usually not an intelligence problem, it's a value problem. Dogs respond to behaviors that have meaning, consistency, and reward history. If commands are repeated endlessly without consequence or reinforcement, the dog learns that the words do not matter. They become background noise, like an alarm that never leads to anything important. To change this pattern, communication must become clear and consistent. Instead of repeating commands over and over, set your dog up for success. Use cues that are followed by meaningful outcomes. Reward correct choices so the dog understands that responding has value. Over time, the dog's motivation shifts. Instead of listening because they feel pressured, they begin listening because it benefits them. That shift transforms the relationship. Sign number 6. They lick you, but it's not affection. Many people believe that licking always means love. Sometimes it does, but licking can also be a form of submission or appeasement. In these cases, the dog is not expressing joy. They are trying to reduce tension. You'll often see this when a dog licks quickly with tight body language, especially after being scolded or pressured. The licking becomes a way of saying, "Please stay calm. I'm not a threat." Owners sometimes misinterpret this behavior as affection because the dog is interacting frequently. But the emotional tone is different from relaxed bonding. The goal is to move from appeasement into genuine comfort. That happens when your dog feels safe enough to sit near you without performing behaviors to manage your mood. Sign number 7. They destroy your things. Few things frustrate dog owners more than coming home to destroyed shoes, shredded pillows, or chewed furniture. It can feel personal, almost like the dog acted out of revenge, but dogs do not destroy objects because they hate their owners. In many cases, destruction is a form of emotional coping. When dogs chew objects that smell strongly like their owner, scent plays an important role. Your scent can be both comforting and confusing when you are gone. For some dogs, that emotional conflict turns into chewing or tearing behaviors as they try to regulate their nervous system. The worst response is punishment after the fact. Scolding a dog hours later only adds fear to an animal that was already stressed. A more effective approach focuses on meeting the dog's emotional needs. When a dog's mental and emotional needs are satisfied, destructive behavior often fades naturally. Here is the most important truth to remember. It is almost never too late to repair a damaged bond with your dog. Dogs are incredibly forgiving when humans change their behavior. What dogs truly want is not perfection. They want clarity. They want a person who makes the world feel stable and predictable. If you remember one lesson from this entire video, let it be this: lead your relationship with respect and consistency, not just emotion. If this video helped you see your dog in a new way, share it with someone who cares about their dog as much as you do. And subscribe to the channel for more science-based insights into real-world dog psychology that can strengthen the bond between you and your dog for life.